Learning always interests me. It's a constant issue. I'm interested in it. I'm looking for what makes it work. And I'm sometimes troubled that too superficial a view is taken of it. So here's a very quick run through of what I consider to be 6 steps to applied learning. Thinking. Thinking too often is a fleeting, forgotten moment. And for a lot of people, I reckon, thinking is equated with learning. I thought about it. I've learned something. No, you haven't. You had a thought. In 30 seconds, 3 hours, 2 weeks, will you remember that thought? Will it be something that came and went in a moment? Very likely. Thinking is not enough. Thinking is not learning. For me, after thinking and more deeply comes reflecting. Reflecting is time taken to explore more deeply. Yes, get a thought, then hang on to that thought. Think about that thought. Go more deeply into that thought. Give it some time. Give it more than the 2 seconds that the thinking might have taken. Actually reflect on it genuinely, meaningfully, with some purpose. Reflecting can create a better understanding, which comes later. But before that comes insight, because insight is the reward and the outcomes that come from reflection. So we think, we reflect, which is different and deeper. We then gain from our reflection insight. We actually start to get some awareness of something new, some new thoughts, some insights that say, yes, now you've gone beyond fleeting thinking, you've reflected meaningfully, you're gaining something from that. You're getting insight. From that insight, thinking, reflecting, insight, now we get understanding. So we don't go from thinking to understanding, we go from thinking to reflecting to insight to understanding. This might take a few minutes, it might take not many seconds, but well invested seconds. So thinking, reflecting, insight, no understanding. From the insight gained from reflecting comes understanding. It's a new and deeper awareness resulting from insight. So understanding is the result of insight. Understanding means I've gained something I can use as a result of the insight that comes from reflecting. It all fits. So what's next? Learning. Now we're into learning. This is unapplied learning. It's dormant learning. It's ready to change behavior long term, but it hasn't done yet. For me, the best definition of learning is a long-term change in behavior brought about by an experience. So we think, we reflect, we gain insight. That gives us understanding. We now have learning, but it's not yet applied. So that learning is a result of understanding. That learning may well be something new. It may be the confirmation of something we already knew. It could be enhancing something we knew, or it could be something totally new. But learning is ultimately the result of thinking. So the last point in this model, thinking, reflecting, insight, understanding, learning, is action. Action is essential to use, to apply the learning, or it dies. So thinking isn't learning, reflecting isn't learning, but it's on the way. Insight isn't learning, but it's closer still. Understanding isn't learning, but it's confused with that sometimes. Learning, in a sense, isn't learning. If I had a better word for it, I'd use it, but learning which is ready to change behavior hasn't yet become learning unless it's observable, unless it's behavioral. So the action we take to apply the learning is evidence of learning. So yes, we can have learning in a sense, but we don't see evidence of its application until it's put to use. So this is not theoretical. This is not conceptual. It all starts with thinking, and all too often that's where it ends. It starts with thinking, which could be a fleeting moment of anything, a thought. And it ultimately, hopefully, through reflecting, insight, understanding, learning, and then action, becomes observable, applied learning. It's not difficult. It's simply a process which is logical and results in genuine learning. I hope it helps.